In this video, we are going to learn about designing simple website using Composer. Now we are going to create e-commerce website. Name of our website is School Plaza. On our website, all the school related items like books, stationery, school bags, water bottles, lunch box, files, folders and other such related items are available and can be easily ordered. We are also going to include shopping cart. Shopping cart is the place where user selects and saves items that he or she wish to purchase. Now let's start designing the website. First of all, we are going to open Composer. First of all, we are going to create homepage of the website. Now let's start designing part. In the beginning, we are going to design the homepage of our website. The homepage of the website is the first page that opens when the user enters the URL address in the address bar of the browser. The home page of our website should list all the categories of the items that are available. Clicking on any one of the categories will take us to another web page showing the items of that particular category. To start with the designing of home page, open Composer and create a new web page. To organize all the contents and the images related to the theme, we will insert a table with single cell as it is shown in this video. Now save the web page with a suitable title. Here we are giving title to our web page. This title will be displayed on the title bar of the web browser. Here we have given the title as School Plaza. Now save the file with the name index.html. Generally, whenever we create the home page of the website, it is named as index.html. Every website is built inside directories on a web server and each web page is a separate file on that web server. Whenever the user types the URL of the website in the browser, for example www.schoolplaza.com, he or she does not specify the file to be opened, but the web server needs a default file name in order to display some content. This default file is the page named index.html. Now we are going to give background color to our web page. For that, click on Format. Now select Page Color and Background. Now in this box, use Custom Colors and then select the color that you want in the background of your home page. We can also give background to the table that we have inserted, that is single cell table, by double clicking on it and select. When we click on insert table, we get this type of dialog box where we get three different tabs, that is quickly, precisely and cell. So in quickly tab we can select number of rows and columns and simply create our table. In precisely, we specify number of rows and columns to our table, specify width of the cell, borders of the table, etc. In cell tab of the same dialog box, we can set horizontal and vertical alignment of the text. We can choose text wrapping option. We can set cell spacing and cell padding options also. In advanced property editor of the table, we can set JavaScript events, inline style and HTML attributes for the table. Now let's see next part of home page. Now insert one row and two column table. In left side we are going to type title of our home page, that is School Plaza. We are setting appropriate attributes for this. For example, size we have increased, Now we can set highlight color, text color and cell background colors from the toolbar. Now in next cell we are going to insert an image. So for that, go to insert image, then locate the image that you want to place here. There is alternate text option. We are going to provide name for the image here. Name for the image is used when browser cannot display the image that we have inserted. Now in dimensions tab, select custom size, leave constraint tick mark as it is and change width and height of the image. Constraint option preserves overall look of the image by adjusting values automatically. For example, if we change width, then height is adjusted automatically when we select constraint option. Now we can resize cell width by dragging it. Now we are going to insert another table having 2 rows and 2 columns. The first row will display categories and new products, and the second row will contain other data. Like below category, we are going to show links for different products. Below new products, we are going to show products available under certain category. To create links below category, we are again going to insert one table with one column and multiple rows. So the number of links that we want to insert, we are going to keep the same number of rows here in this table and writing down each link's name in individual rows. For example, school bag, water bottle, lunch box, etc. Now we are going to insert a horizontal line below each link. So select the link, first link, for example school bags, go to insert and then select horizontal line. So same way, do the same process for all other links. Now in the cell below new products, we are going to insert another table with 3 rows and 3 columns. So total 9 cells we are going to insert here, and all these cells will contain different products and its information. Now click in the first cell of this 3 by 3 table and go to insert image and then select the location from where you want to bring image in this box. Do the same process of alternate text, setting dimensions, etc. that we have done earlier for logo. Now type details of that product like its name, price, etc. Now we are going to insert a checkbox that by selecting the checkbox, user is going to save this product for purchase. For that, go to insert form field and then select checkbox here. Now give field name and field value. Field value is important because we are going to use it in JavaScript. So we are going to set it later using advanced properties. After checkbox, write down text that is meant to show the action, that is add to cart. Same way, below that, for number of items that user want to purchase, we are providing a text field and writing down name of that field, that is quantity. And same way, we are going to insert more products in different cells. Now right click on the checkbox button and go to form field properties. Now here in the form field properties, go to advanced edit. In HTML attribute tab, in attribute group, select ID here and give value as P1 here, that is product 1. This ID we are going to use in our script. Same way for quantity, we are setting ID to Q1, that is quantity 1. Now same way, insert more products and add details for those products like add to cart button, quantity field, etc., and set ID for all these elements. Now we are going to insert a button. Actually it is submit button, but name for this button we are keeping as proceed. That means after selecting products to purchase, user is going to click on this button to initiate billing process. For that, click below this table, go to insert form, then form field, submit button. Now give field name and field value. So field name, submit, field value, whatever we write here will be visible on that button. So now we can see that proceed value can be seen on this button. Now we are going to insert JavaScript in the page. So go to source, after title close, insert script tag. Now here we are going to create a function. Function name is onCart, and we are now defining what this function is going to do. So in the first line we are creating a variable name check, and initial value we are giving it as false. We are creating another variable, that is cookie value, and we are leaving it blank. Now we are putting one condition, if document.getElement by ID, and in bracket reference of that element, that is product 1 dot checked, that means in field name P1, if field with ID name P1, if it is checked, then check variable will hold value true, then variable quantity. So in quantity, whatever user has typed, that we are going to fetch by document.getElement by ID Q1 dot value. That means quantity variable will take value whatever entered in that text field of quantity. Now variable price is equal to, here we are manually typing the price of the first product, that is $3.99. Then variable total is equal to price into quantity. Price is $3.99 and quantity will be defined by user, and whatever value is stored in quantity variable. Now cookie value plus is equal to, plus and equal to is shorthand operator. That means whatever comes up on right hand side of this variable after equal to, it will be added to cookie. So whatever we want to print as it is, that we keep in quotes, and wherever we want to print some value which is saved in any variable, we are typing that variable name between two plus signs. For example, price is a variable. Here we will get price of that bag. Then quantity, whatever quantity user has entered. Then total, whatever total comes after price multiplied by quantity. Now this will be saved in cookie. Now same way we are going to copy and paste the whole code. Only we are supposed to change is product name and quantity. So for second product ID is P2 and for quantity for second product is Q2. Then name of the product we are going to change here, and all other things are same. So we can extend our code by simply copying, pasting and changing only a few part of the code. Now finally, after all conditions, another if condition, that is exclamatory sign and check, means if check variable is not checked, exclamation sign is not operator. So if not checked, then user will get alert message by this statement alert in bracket whatever written in quotes. For example, here we have written no item selected. That will be visible on the screen to the user when he do not select any item. And if this condition is false, that means if at least a single product is selected, then document.cookie is equal to cookie value. So in cookie value will be stored, and we are defining location to read this cookie value, and build.html is the page that is referred and called by this function at the end. Now save the file so that our code is saved. Now we are going to create links for different categories. For that we need not create multiple web pages from the scratch, but we will simply save this page with different name. For example, second category is water bottle. We are going to save this page as waterbottle.html. By saving the page with different name, we will get same look to the new page, and we need minor changes in that page because title, logo, that categories link, all will remain same for each and every page. Now we are closing this file and opening waterbottle.html to edit that page. In waterbottle.html page, we will only change products and its description so that we can minimize our efforts in creating other web pages. Now we are going to create bill.html file. This file will be called by function onCart when user click on proceed button. So in this file, first of all, we have defined a function named myFun. The function is accepting data from cookie and storing it in an array. Then we are converting the data into number by using function parseFloat and add it to total. Finally, we print the values of the total. So finally, the user clicks on the proceed to checkout button on the bill web page. This will ask the user to log in case he or she has not logged in or sign up to create an account. If he or she is not a registered user, the registration form can be created as discussed in the earlier chapter. Later in payment details can be entered as decided by the owner. Generally, to handle such website, we need to create database which store the details of the product, registered user, login name, password and other relevant details. Now let's see final output. When user clicks on proceed button, he is getting page displaying total number of items purchased, total amounts, etc.